I wanted to share with you this brief little story from the Gospels as it relates to the time of Jesus' birth. It's the story of Simeon, he's a very minor character, but I just love this account because it talks about longing and anticipation and how that can wear on the soul. But when anticipation gives way, when longing gives way to having, anticipation can give way to joy. Let me read from Luke chapter 2. Now there was a man in Jerusalem called Simeon who was righteous and devout. He was waiting for the consolation of Israel, which is a way of saying he's waiting for prophecy to come true and to see his people delivered from oppression. And the Holy Spirit was on him. It had been revealed to him by the Holy Spirit that he would not die before he had seen the Lord's Messiah. Moved by the Spirit, he went into the temple courts. When the parents brought in the child Jesus to do for him what the custom of the law required, Simeon took him in his arms and praised God, saying, "Sovereign Lord, as you have promised, you may now dismiss your servant in peace. For my eyes have seen your salvation, which you have prepared in the sight of all the nations, a light for revelation to the Gentiles and the glory of your people, Israel." Oh, what a scene is this older man taking this baby in his arms and feeling not simple exuberance, but joy, profound joy. Longing gives way to having, and anticipation gives way to joy. Makes me think of another story. As you may know, I'm a fan of Tolkien and Lord of the Rings, and there's this again small little detail in this large book, Lord of the Rings. Frodo is on this journey to destroy the Ring of Power, and he begins his journey in the most inauspicious way. He and his friends just get started. They go into the old forest and they get lost. And in the midst of the forest, they fall under the spell of Old Man Willow and are almost swallowed alive by that most unpleasant character. But he's delivered by this mysterious character, Tom Bombadil. Frodo is beleaguered and harassed, but he finds refuge in Tom's house, and there he has this dream. This is what Tolkien writes. Frodo heard a sweet singing running in his mind, a song that seemed to come like a pale light behind a gray rain curtain, and growing stronger to turn the veil all to glass and silver, until at last it was all rolled back and a far green country opened before him under a swift sunrise. It's a dream of lasting rest in a beautiful land. Even at the beginning of his journey, Frodo was already beginning to feel panicked and harassed and weary. And he has this dream of when it's all resolved. And what is so fascinating about this story is that happens way at the beginning of the story. And then they go through this epic journey and all these travails and all these setbacks and failures. And finally the ring is destroyed. And Frodo really is weary with life at the end. But he takes one last journey at the end of the book, a boat to the undying lands. And this is how his arrival to that place is described. And the ship went out into the high sea and passed into the west, until at last, on a night of rain, Frodo smelled a sweet fragrance on the air and heard the sound of singing that came over the water. And then it seemed to him that, as in his dream in the house of Tom Bombadil, the gray rain curtain turned all to silver glass and was rolled back, and he beheld white shores, and beyond them a far green country under a swift sunrise. Frodo's dream had come true. He had found his rest. We often think of joy as an excelling happiness, an exuberance, The St. Louis Cardinals winning the World Series back in 2011. I remember watching it, jumping up and down, hooting, hollering. St. Louis Blues winning the Stanley Cup in 2019. Oh, that was exciting. And joy can take that form. But joy really is something much deeper, more profound. It is longing, a longing that wears on your soul, that is satisfied. It is anticipation realized. The Jewish people of the first century were harassed and beleaguered by foreign powers, by corruption within. But there was the promise of one who would come to bring release to the people. And this is what is announced to the shepherds earlier in the Gospel of Luke and to Simeon. Your anticipation has given way to having. We long for redemption. We long for something better than what we have right now. And in Jesus Christ, we have the promise of it. We have it in one sense, but the promise of all things being made new. And that is the great hope of Christmas. And I hope that you can have some taste, some trust, some belief in that, that you might have not only the taste of longing giving way to having, but anticipation giving way to joy. I hope this Christmas you know something of that joy. Blessings on you all.